Exactly. I think the same thing. I think Jan takes Pereira down and controls him. He was able to take down Izzy, like he said, but watching the fight between Izzy and Pereira, Izzy was able to control Pereira and control him on the cage. And if I just think that Jan takes him down and overpowers him pretty much.
What do you hear? What do you say? This is how to fuck up your parlay. I'm Timmy Shoes with Inside Fighting, and I've got two amazing guests with me today. UFC welterweight Daniel Rodriguez and karate combat fighter Sasha Palatnikov. Boys, how you doing?
Doing good.
Out here in
And
California.
of course, joined always by our executive producer Andrew Capichetti.
I already told you I don't like the titles, bro. No titles for me. But yeah, Andrew,
I'll take the title, Timmy. I'll take it.
Just the man in the house, Andrew Capichetti, and our editor-in-chief, Jesse Rowe. He's on the mic, too.
Thank you.
We've got
Yes,
some
sir.
crazy fights this weekend. UFC 291, one of the biggest cards of the year. And we've also got one of the biggest boxing events of the year. Errol Spence Jr. versus Terence Crawford. Everyone's looking forward to that. So let's just get right into it, okay? It is the first undisputed welterweight boxing title fight in the four-belt era. Errol Spence Jr. is a plus 120 favorite. Terence Crawford is a minus 150 favorite. Sorry, plus 120 underdog. Both these guys are undefeated. Spence is 28-0, and Crawford is 39-0. Boys, what do you make of this fight?
Wow, Timmy really stuck the landing with that. That was
I'll go
Did
first.
I really just hear that was Crawford the underdog?
Yeah, Crawford's the underdog.
Wow, I didn't expect
Plus
that.
120.
No.
you said, Tim?
Crawford's the favorite.
Oh, he's the
Crawford's
favorite.
the
Okay,
favorite.
okay,
Minus
yeah.
150
As
favorite.
he should be. As he should be.
I think so.
Yeah.
What's Spence? Plus what?
plus 120.
Plus 120.
Yeah, that's not a big difference. Right?
Easy money. Give me Spence all day. I'm going with Premier Boxing Championship, PBC. I'm rolling with Spence. Crawford's a fantastic boxer, but I'm going with Errol Spence. And plus, I like that underdog money. You want to make money? Throw about 500 on Spence.
Wow.
I don't know. I like Mr. Bud Crawford. I
Same.
think the switch stance. I think he's just a kind of a level above Errol. Errol's a great boxer, but the experience and the I just love his style, man. I'm a big fan of Crawford's, and I think he'll get it done.
Yeah, same here. I think Crawford definitely has the experience and the edge, and fought more, tougher opponents and shit so far, and he looked great doing it.
I'm a big fan of mental warfare, and I really think that in the lead up to this fight, Spence handled himself very well on the microphone. Now, I don't know what that means for the fight, but I really like the way that Spence, I think he won the press conferences, so I'm going with Spence. That means a lot to me. It might not mean a lot to everybody else. It means a lot to me. I'm going with Spence.
Well, the pros are going for Crawford. Me and Jesse and I are going for Spence. But
that's 50-50. That just shows it's a 50-50 fight.
For sure.
It's truly down the middle.
Definitely a 50-50 fight.
Timmy, you're the tiebreaker.
I'm going with Crawford, and I really like this prop bet because Crawford to win and over 1.5 knockdowns is actually plus 1,500.
Whoa.
So if you really want to make some money, I think you go Crawford to win and over on the 1.5 knockdowns.
Crazy.
That's what I like.
Spence ain't
But
getting
also,
Wow.
if you like Spence to win, 1.5 over on the 1.5 knockdowns is plus 2,000.
I like
those
that.
Those
Wow.
are the fight props to make
I
money
think
right
Spence
there.
has a better chin. I like that prop bet.
So what, you put down like $100 and you make
That's nice.
$2,000.
$2,000
Yeah.
if he knocks him down twice?
Yeah,
Correct.
Wow.
that's a play right there.
Facts.
I like it. I would also,
right.
yeah, I don't know. I'm interested in the parlay at the end, but I would consider a parlay. But let's go.
Let's move it along.
Let's go.
Now.
You could throw that into a parlay. Moving along, we've got UFC 291 in Salt Lake City this weekend. Got some amazing fights on this card. Let's just get right into it. Bobby Green is fighting Tony Ferguson. This is a crazy fight. Bobby Green is a minus 380 favorite. Tony Ferguson is a plus 310 underdog. Now, Bobby Green is 2-2-1 in his last 5, and Tony Ferguson is 0-5 in his last 5. He's obviously coming off his loss against Nate Diaz at UFC 279. There's some interesting prop bets, but I want to get you guys' takes. What do you make of this fight?
Andrew?
Fuck, this is a hard one because I like Tony Ferguson. I like Bobby Green. Two OGs, both from California, both from Southern California. So I like them both, and it's hard to choose.
Get closer to the mic, Cap.
Get closer to the mic, says Jesse. It's a hard fight to choose. I like them both. Both LA guy, well, Riverside, whatever. Southern California guys. Tough fight to choose. I don't know. Ferguson is coming off a tough loss versus Nate Diaz. And then Bobby Green's coming off a couple losses. Drew Dober. I don't know. I'm going to go with this one's tough. I'm going to go with Tony Ferguson. I actually can't pick a winner. This is one where I always say don't bet on it. Listen, this is too close of a fight. Two legends they're both like at that, they both don't want to lose. They're both going to give it their all. They're both fucking beasts in there, and they like to throw hands, and they're both crazy as fuck. So you got two crazy motherfuckers fighting. I can't pick a winner.
I'm sorry, Bobby's a heavy favorite though, right? What are the odds again?
Yeah, Bobby's a -380 and Tony is a +310. It's worth pointing out that this might be the retirement fight for both guys. I know Bobby Green wanted to retire his last fight, but it ended in a no contest.
Yeah, for me, I think I'm going to go with Bobby Green. I actually, not too long ago, maybe 2-3 months ago, I was sparring with Bobby, and he's interesting style of fighter, and if you haven't really seen anybody like him, he's very hard to adjust to. And someone like Tony, who's been obviously through so many wars, I feel like he's always going to be game and ready to throw down, but I feel like Bobby's going to be maybe a little bit too slick, a little bit too quick for him, and and I think he might edge a decision in this fight. Again, I think it will be a close fight, two legends, as Andrew said, but I believe I think the speed and I think he's a bit craftier in the way that he strikes on the feet.
Same here. I'm gonna have to go with Bobby Green on this one. Tony's actually one of my boys. We we train together and shit. And I'm honestly gonna go with Bobby Green on that one. I think Tony might not be the same Tony ever since, everyone says that he ain't been the same Tony since he took that, that punishment from Gaethje. And, it showed since then. He's been, been KO'd by Chandler and hasn't just looked the same. In that last fight with Nate Diaz, he didn't look very impressive at all. And if this is a retirement fight for Bobby Green, I think that Green might come out a little more aggressive and wanting a little bit more than Tony is these days.
It's hard because Tony's obviously a legend, but people forget about who Tony has faced in the past 5 fights. He's literally faced some of the 5 best lightweights in the world. I mean, Gaethje, Facts. Nate, who else? It was
Chandler.
He was supposed to fight Habib. I mean, the guy was fighting for the Chandler. So he's 0-5 against 5 of the best fighters in the world. Be that as it may, I didn't love the way that he looked, and I don't like the internet making fun of Tony Ferguson and where he's at. It bothers me, just because the guy is genuinely like one of the greatest lightweights, one of the better lightweight runs ever. But I am taking Bobby Green. I think the odds make sense. I wouldn't put a lot of money on it down on it though, just because. Maybe Ferguson is a high-value underdog. Timmy, maybe you'll sway my opinion on this, but the odds are great for Ferguson, but I think they make sense.
So we got 2 pros going for picking Bobby Green. We got Jesse picking Bobby Green. And I'm saying too close to call. Timmy, we don't give a fuck what you're picking, brother. On to the next one.
I want to hear Timmy. I want to hear what Timmy has to say.
I'm just fucking Timmy. Let me hear your pick, bro.
Listen, all I'm going to say, Jesse, if I'm going to sway you, if you're going to put money on Tony Ferguson, I think he's got an advantage in one area, and that would be his submission game. He's got that 10th planet jiu-jitsu, and Ferguson by submission is plus 1,200. So if you like Ferguson in this fight and you think he's going to win, maybe throw some money on that Tony Ferguson by submission. I think Bobby Green wins the decision.
Yeah.
Moving right along, Wonderboy, Stephen Thompson, he is fighting Michelle Pereira. Wonderboy is a -155 favorite. Pereira is a +135 underdog. Pereira comes into this on a 5-fight win streak. He's obviously up and coming. Wonderboy is 3-2. Those 2 losses were against Bilal Muhammad and Gilbert Burns, but the other 3 wins were all against strikers. So, boys, what do you make of this fight?
I think D-Rod needs to start this one because I remember Cap spoke to D-Rod like in the past, I don't know, a few months, and you were talking about Michelle Pereira. And he's obviously in your weight division. you would have a better insight that would maybe sway my opinion. So what are your thoughts?
On that fight, yeah, definitely. I think Michael Chiesa might have the edge on this one.
Pereira.
It's
Which one? We
it's
talking about
Pereira versus Wonderboy.
Oh, Wonderboy. Okay,
Yeah,
right
yeah.
away I'm thinking
Yeah,
about
yeah.
Kevin Holland. It's because Kevin Holland's on my mind right now.
I know. Well, that's another
Yeah,
one
man.
that you've thought about.
Stephen Thompson versus Michelle Pereira. Definitely, I wanted to face Pereira in the past. I think it'll be an exciting fight due to our styles. I think it's an exciting fight, but I'm definitely gonna have to go with Stephen Thompson on this one. I think that he's the more technical, more skilled, fucking dangerous striker. We all saw that versus his fight versus Kevin Holland, and he put it on him. And I think that that goes to show the level of mixed martial artist that he is. He was able to show a lot in that fight, and yeah, I think Pereira. Yeah, he's a very explosive fighter, and I think technically wise, I think Stephen Thompson is a better fighter in this one. I'm gonna go with him.
Yeah, I mean, for me, this is a hard fight. I'm a big fan of Wonderboy. I've hung out with him a couple times. I was actually the stand-in for the Jose Cuervo commercial that they did. I
Oh
don't know
no
if you've
shit!
seen it. Yeah,
That's
I was the
hilarious.
stand-in.
Yeah.
So we hung out a bit. He's a very cool guy, one of the nicest guys ever. But
That's funny.
I did not know.
That's hilarious. I saw that commercial. It's funny.
And Kevin Holland, Daryl.
Yeah.
That was Kevin Holland stand-in. So we were just standing, looking at each other, when we had the.
So you were like standing in as Wonderboy.
Yes. So basically, all the
shit.
angles and all the lighting that needs to be done for the commercial, I was standing in for him. I was.
You were a
body.
stunt double, basically.
Pretty much, I didn't have to do nothing.
Nice,
but, yeah.
nice.
But no, so back to that. It's a tough fight. Big fan of Wonderboy, but Michelle Pereira, he is such a wild card, and he's, from what I know, from people have said, the dude is incredibly strong. Where have we seen Wonderboy fail is when people shoot and grapple him. I know obviously he's very hard to eventually get to the ground with his footwork, but I feel like if there's someone that can do that, I feel like Michelle Pereira, if he's using that game plan to go and win this fight and go for takedowns, that's his route to win. If he does that, I think he can actually do that quite easily, to be honest. But if he decides to strike with Wonderboy, I feel like he's going to get pieced up. So it's a hard fight for me to pick in terms of like in betting, but I'm going to go with the plus money. I think Pereira is going to try to break into that top 5, maybe title contention, main event kind of slot. He's been kind of quiet.
Yeah.
So I think this is maybe his time to, go and get that result over the aging Wonderboy.
I like that pick, and I was thinking about the fact that if this fight, obviously, if it stays standing, I think we would all agree that like Wonderboy is like the dude that's
the premier, yeah,
gonna be able to kickbox with anybody. But he's getting up there in age. I love Wonderboy. I think that if Holland doesn't break his hand in that last fight, that fight ends up very differently. I want to see how D-Rod looks against Kevin Holland. That's a fight that I'm still waiting to see happen.
Same here.
Yeah, so hopefully that fight can happen at some point. That being said, I agree with Sasha. Go ahead. What's up?
Yeah, I think that Kevin Holland fight is a must. I mean, we were scheduled to fight 2 times already.
Yeah.
And everybody wants it. I want it. He wants it. The fans want it. It's just a matter of time. I think this is one of those fights that it just has to go down at some point in my career.
Yeah.
We could just seal the deal. And for all we know, it could be that fight is fireworks, bro. I'm not gonna lie. It's got fireworks.
I could see that being a main event next year.
For sure, bro. And
at the Apex or downtown LA, you know what I mean?
LA card would be fire.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, that's the ultimate goal. Yo, that's my dream spot. That's why I've always that's like the ultimate goal right there is fight at the Staples Center. It's not crypto. It's not the crypto center. It's the Staples Center.
His Kung Fu versus LA street boxing.
Yeah, hey, I know Kung Fu.
Yeah, hell yeah. So yeah,
I got that Fujitsu on lock,
There you go. There you go. Yeah, well, that being said, I mean, I think Wonderboy is getting up there in age. I'm glad Cap came back so I can carry my take over here, but I'm taking Michelle Pereira as well.
I would want
just
nothing.
For the record.
I would want nothing more than a D-Rod to sock check Jesse right now. Real talk.
Okay.
Hey, I need to sock check you, dog.
You're the one who got up in the middle of the podcast.
He set himself up. He set himself up for that one. Hey,
sock check Jesse real talk, bro. Sock check Jesse first, bro. What's
10 minutes left, Cap. What's your pick? Michelle Pereira versus Wonderboy.
Oh, I got Wonderboy. Kickboxing legend, Wonderboy.
All right, I think we got 2 and 2, right? Did you pick Wonderboy?
Oh, I'm the tiebreaker again? Wow. Well, I think you guys really hit the nail on the head. If it stays standing, Wonderboy all day. And if Pereira goes for the takedowns, I think he can get it done. But ultimately, I'm going Wonderboy by decision. Now,
I like it.
Co-main event, very interesting fight in light heavyweight. We've got Alex Pereira making his 205 debut.
Oh, boy.
He's a minus 105 versus Jan Blahovich, who is a minus 115. Okay, so Blahovich is the favorite. But, boys, what do you make of this fight? This one's very interesting.
This might be the hardest one to call for me personally. I'm a huge fan of Alex Pereira, but I think Jan Blahovich, if he lands one punch, I think Pereira's in trouble. That's my personal opinion. I believe in that legendary Polish power, and after what I saw Blahovich do against Izzy when Izzy moved up, obviously Pereira has a different body build. He is probably more of a natural light heavyweight than he is a middleweight. I just don't think he has the grappling to compete with Jan if Jan decides to go to the ground at any point in this fight. If they stay standing, Pereira has a very good 50-50 shot. If Jan decides to do to him what he did with Izzy, I'll take Blahovich.
Exactly. I think the same thing. I think Jan takes Pereira down and controls him. He was able to take down Izzy, like he said, but watching the fight between Izzy and Pereira, Izzy was able to control Pereira and control him on the cage. And if I just think that Jan takes him down and overpowers him pretty much.
Yeah, no. Same with the fellas. I thought this was a very interesting matchup, but look at the experience. Former champion coming off a draw that arguably he won. He was like almost TKO'd Ankalaev with those leg kicks. It was phenomenal performance there. And the one style with Pereira, he's the kind of guy that he's got to get hit to hit. You know what I mean? He's not an agile striker in terms of someone like Izzy. His head, he's there to be hit, and like he mentioned with that Polish power, if that thing connects and it turns into any kind of scramble or grappling fight, like Jan is going to lock him up on the ground, and I think Jan is going to be crowned the light heavyweight champion.
Do you guys think it's harder to move down in weight class or up in weight class? Like in terms of how it obviously it affects your bodies differently. Everybody's body is different, but he's moving up. That's a huge deal because he was obviously the weight cuts were tough on him.
Yeah,
for
definitely,
sure.
Yeah, definitely. I think his weight cuts looked tough on him. You could tell in the weigh-in videos. And for all we know, this might be one of those situations where dudes are better at fighting at a natural weight. Like per se, Robert Whittaker used to fight at welterweight, went up to middleweight, and went on a tear. And I'm excited to see how Pereira does because I'm a fan. I'm a huge fan of strikers. And I'm interested to see how he does
because he is a humongous human being.
Yeah,
and usually guys that if Jan has trouble taking him down, it could be a very rough night for him. But at the same time, if you do take a guy down like Pereira, that long build, it's very hard to get back up. I mean, Israel Adesanya took him down, and Izzy is the furthest thing from a wrestler. So it'll be interesting, of course, but. I don't know. I'm going to lean towards the Polish power in this one.
Well, I'm just the MMA casual. Timmy's the MMA expert in insight fighting. Who are you taking?
Jesse forgot me.
Well,
listen, my mic on.
Well, you've just been ditching the show, so I don't even know if you're fucking on it
Don't
anymore.
forget me, bro. Listen, don't forget. I'm just off to the sidelines right now. But listen, I want to give my pick. Alex Pereira all day. I think the weight cut, not having to cut weight, those extra 20 pounds, he's going to be fucking yoked up, healthy, hydrated. Jan's getting up there in age. Pereira has something to prove, moving up to a weight class, and he's the underdog, right, Timmy? Give me the odds.
Pereira's a minus 105. Blahovich is a minus 150.
That surprises me.
To pick him, man.
Yeah.
Give me Pereira. Listen. I was just tired of the headphones. I can hear you without the headphones, and sometimes when I didn't want that.
Well, they can't see you without the camera.
Right, but they can hear me. So the headphone action was a little.
Yeah.
It was getting to me. Give me Pereira. I'm going undefeated on the night. That's Errol Spence. That's Wonderboy. That's Pereira. And stay tuned for my main card pick. But I'm going undefeated here. The pros are picking different fighters. They got Crawford. I'm paying attention. They got Crawford. Did you guys pick Wonderboy or?
I went with Pereira.
Oh, you went Pereira. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. And then now they're both going Jan, and I'm picking Pereira. Listen, Timmy,
Timmy,
again, we don't really give a fuck who. No, they care who you're picking. Who
Yeah.
you picking, Timmy?
You already know.
Though he's in Brazil, by the way, so this is important. Yeah.
He's biased.
Alex Pereira has got that left hook. His name is Hands of Stone for a reason. One thing I noticed about Jan Blahovich, when he throws, he often drops his right hand. I think there's going to be an opening for that legendary left hook from Pereira. So I like Pereira by knockout. Otherwise, Jan's probably just going to wrestle him for 5 rounds and then or 3 rounds. Sorry.
Yeah.
But we've got the BMF title on the line in the main event. Dustin Poirier versus Justin Gaethje, guys who have fought already. Dustin Poirier, who won their first fight, is a -140 favorite. Justin Gaethje is a +120 underdog. This one promises to be electric, and I'm really looking forward to it. So, guys, what do you make of this fight?
Cap is somebody who's part of Team Diaz. Who are you taking in the BMF title event?
It's a tough fight. It's a good one. I feel like Poirier won the first one, but his face was Gaethje messed him up pretty good. It was a crazy ass fight. I like Poirier's manager. His manager's cool. So I don't know. But I just think Gaethje's a little younger. So I think age plays a factor here. So although I do like DP, sometimes I call him DP. People call him Poirier, people call him Dustin. I call him DP. So you know what I mean? Listen, I like DP's manager. But I think I'm going to have to go Gaethje on this one. He's a little younger. I also like Gaethje's manager. Ali's cool as fuck. So, but it's not.
I don't mean to put you on the spot, Cap, but they're both the same age. They're both 34.
Yeah.
No.
I think
that's why you're here, because you have every stat in the game, and that's how I always introduce you as, the MMA legend Timmy James. Thank you for correcting me, and I appreciate that. They're both 34. No. I still think Poirier's they've both been in wars. Poirier's been in one too many. I don't know. I think he's been in 1 or 2 extra wars than Gaethje, so I'm going to go with Gaethje. I think, it's going to be 1-1 after this, and then maybe they do a trilogy. But I don't know. It's a tough fight to pick. If I'm a betting man, don't bet on it. So.
Guys, I'm going to let these guys finish it because we got 2.5 minutes left. I'm picking Gaethje because he's acclimated to the Colorado climate. He's used to the altitude, so I'm taking Gaethje. I'm going to let you guys wrap this up. Go for it.
As a southpaw, I'm going with Dustin Poirier.
Yeah, there's a we're statistic guy over here. I like Dustin Poirier in rematches. He's 3-0, and I think he's gonna get it done and go 4-0 on the rematch with Gaethje. I feel like, I don't know. I just physically, when I look at both men, I just see a bigger man with Dustin Poirier. I love his striking style. I love his his southpaw strategy. The way he works out of that stance it's one of the best. So for me, I'm going to go with Dustin to get it done.
Nice. Well,
2-2.
All right, beautiful.
Are they the true BMFs though? Do you feel we have 1 minute and 30 left on this Zoom? Do you guys see them?
So, like,
does the BMF title do they meet the criteria?
Fair. I think that's fair for sure. I mean, both of them are bad motherfuckers, and like they've always
Is that
put
155?
And real quick, listen, we do got a minute left. Listen, so
Timmy, hold on. Timmy hasn't given his pick.
Honestly, not even to be rude, Timmy's my guy. Give me one name real quick, because I got a question.
Poirier.
There you go.
Timmy got Poirier. But listen, who are you fighting next, and who are you fighting next? That's,
you went to the bathroom and I talked to him about this.
Fighting, but I got. Well, I didn't really get confirmation on the date, but I'm gonna go ahead and say it. I got a call from Sean Shelby asking me about who's my manager. But before I hung up with him, I asked him when does he want to get me back up in there. He mentioned mid-September, so you be ready for that. Fight announcement coming soon.
Okay,
Nice.
so you're not dropping a name. Who are you fighting?
I don't really know who. I don't really know who. It don't even matter.
But you're
Everybody
fighting
know me.
mid-September. Okay, cool.
Yeah, for sure. So stay tuned. Stay tuned
Whoever
for that
you
one.
are, I'll be watching.
Yeah, and I'm still waiting as well, trying to see what's up with Karate Combat, and outside of that, trying to get back into MMA. Crossover maybe to a Game Bread promotion, do some of that bare knuckle MMA. So we'll see what's.
A lot of people don't know you've been a pro since you were been how old? 14 years old?
Yeah.
From Hong Kong, or how many different countries have you lived in? People need to hear about
6.
Sasha's story. Both of you guys got sick ass stories, but you live in what, 6 countries?
Yeah, I lived all over the world.
We got like 20 seconds left.
Pro
just
since
FYI.
you've been 14 years old. Listen, Google these guys. You guys know who they are. Listen, thank you for joining us.
Culture Groups podcast.
Yeah.
Get in here. Let's get it.
Yeah, Culture
Get it.
Crooks.
Thank you, Timmy. Send us off.
Culture Brooks, Inside Fighting. You know where to find us. Thanks for watching, folks.